What's up guys, it's Captain Production 72 and welcome to a summer 2025 set review. This is the second 2025 set I've reviewed, the only other one being Ahsoka Starfighter because I'll be honest, I've spent more time reviewing classic sets this year. But with that, I'm going to try and get a handle on something because I've got a few of these lying around the 2025 sets. Anyway, this is the set 75432 V19's Torrent Starfighter with 567 pieces, which is not often. I have a handful of sets with the piece count on the box, which is kind of cool they've done that, because that's not normal here in the UK. I never thought this would be a thing. I genuinely never thought LEGO would bring this back, at least not now. It's been 17 years since the last one came out. The last one was in 2008, along with all those legendary Clone Wars first wave sets. Now, this one costs more than that one did, and is a lot smaller, but this is pretty cool. Whereas 2008 is kind of legendary for how its mechanism worked, which was always pretty cool with that functions box. This one uses basic ways of getting around that, and I think it is pretty damn cool that it does that. You know, I really do like this build quite a bit, surprisingly. I'm just surprised LEGO have even done another V19 Torrent. And of course, it's not without its flaws, but the minifigures in this one are pretty good. But we'll first look at the box. So you can kind of interpret that as any planet. I personally like to think this is a Battle of Teth set. The Obi-Wan and Ventress minifigures by themselves in those outfits specifically. My mind, you can tell me others, but I'm immediately drawn to that duel they have on Teth in the Clone Wars movie, and you know, you see V19s in the Clone Wars movie. And of course, obviously the style of outfit they're wearing, like I said. So I'm inclined to believe this is based off the Clone Wars movie, which would be kind of cool if it's a direct set from that. Unless someone else could tell me another time that I'm not thinking of from the early seasons where Obi-Wan fights Ventress by himself. I'm a little bit stumped to come up with one, because the only other one I can think of in the early seasons is when they fight on Chrysopsis. Anyway, getting a bit ahead of myself there. Let's look at the box. Further, we've got an explosion there. We've got the ship in flight mode, which is annoying because you can't really display it in flight mode. On the back, it's based inside of a hangar. It shows you what it can do. Shows the wings folded up, the clone pilot getting involved. There's Ventress and Obi-Wan fighting. Just kind of standard boxes. Yeah. Let's look at the minifigures. So here we have what is, for me, possibly the best minifigure of 2025. This is basically a remake of the original Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I am 100% all in on that. Because, I mean, I am a big fan of the original figure. In fact, here's OG Clone Wars Obi-Wan here, and you can see what's going on here. And for, like, a lot of people don't like the Clone Wars faces. I'm one of those weird guys that does. Right? I like the Clone Wars art and art style minifigures. But this is a really cool minifigure. This is on par with that Mace Windu that we got back in 2022's Republic Fighter tank with the arm printing and stuff. And this makes me really hope that in the next couple of years we get an Anakin in this style. It'd be nice if they kind of, like, one of the most legendary LEGO lines is the kind of 2008 to 13 era of Clone Wars sets. And those minifigures are brilliant, but it'd be nice to get, like, ones like this. Like, an updated Clone Wars Ahsoka Season 1 with the special legs and stuff. And the print would be a cool idea, but I'm really happy with this. I mean, look at that arm printing. This minifigure is brilliant. It has this kind of angry, warrior-like facial expression, and if I take this off and show you around, it has that kind of more calm, mellow facial expression. And you put the hair back on. The hair piece for Obi-Wan's that same piece they've really been using for years. In fact, it's not the same as the 08 one, is it? Not the same, but similar. I was curious there. But yeah, I really do like this minifigure quite a lot. As I said, probably my favourite minifigure of 2025. Let's move on to the pilot. And here is the pilot. So, for me, this is one of the best clones I've released recently because no helmet holes, no way of ruining it. People are going, yes, the print doesn't go all the way back, and that's a complaint for some people, but I'm just content the fact that the helmet mold is correct. Like, finally, they have done a proper looking, like, clone pilot. At least in phase 1, because for years, we were always getting that same design. I don't actually have one handy here, do I? No. And it's the 2008 style, which came in the last V19, because the last V19 didn't have a selection of minifigures. It was clone pilot, and that was all you got. But that's long. Back then, we had a TIE Fighter that had one minifigure in it. So that was kind of a thing of the time. But really cool looking minifigure. Got that cone head that we've had since around 2020. I believe it is that one. I do like the consistency that they're doing with Lego clones in some ways, just unfortunately not in other ways. But really nice minifigure, got a pistol there. Let's look at the Asajj Ventress. So this is kind of my least favourite figure on the set, mostly because of the eyes. But again, the outfit, the way it is, and I love the fact, right, the outfit kind of suggests what I'm saying about the movie. But I love the fact they brought back those lightsaber pieces, didn't try to do new ones or anything. I'm just like that they went back to what was good and what worked before. Brilliant. Again, no pupils in our eyes, but the rest of the minifigure does look quite decent. But again, it's like what they did to that Salacious B. Crumb last year in the sail barge. I just don't like the figures without the pupils. It just doesn't look right. And some people might go, oh, it's an animation style for Clone Wars. Yeah, but Obi-Wan's not done in the Clone Wars style. You can't have it both ways. But on that pretty good minifigure, let's have a look at this set, because I've got a few good points on this one. And here we have the V19 itself. So it is smaller than what 2008 was, and that was kind of obvious. I mean, look, the Arc 170s had a downscale, the gunship and turbo tank have all been downscaled, so of course, this clone vehicle would be no exception. But it is still pretty good for what it is, an enjoyable build, you know, for what it is. And it doesn't have the cool function that the original one had, which is, again, unfortunate. But it is pretty good. I'm going to show you how. So the mechanism on this, despite not being as cool as it was back in 2008, is still pretty fun to use. And essentially, what you've got here is, and this is just the main function, so of course the wings fold down kind of independently. But this is held on by a very basic clip connection, which means, I'm going to zoom the camera out for this. So it means for this, you can hold it here with your hand and smack it and it will do this. Yeah, somehow it didn't want to work on camera. Brilliant. So you can do it like this. You can slap it up and it will do that, or you do have to be gentle. I just thought I'd show, like, I kind of figured that out while I was building it, that you can do kind of really silly ways of making it work. But like, do this. So you're hitting it like that, and it goes into the clip mechanism. But basically, it's just like that. The old one, the way the old one worked is you would push that down, so all the wings would be up. You would push this down, and it would make the wings go down with it through Technic. But pretty cool, you know, very switchable. Unfortunately, you can't really, yeah, you can't display it the way you would want it to. This set is incapable of being displayed in flight mode, which I would have paid an extra 10 if they had float, which, let's not give Lego ideas, but I would have paid an extra 10 if they had given you a maintenance cart, kind of like what they did with the Jango Fett Starship from the same wave. Would have been actually quite a smart idea for them, and I've broke the studio, well done. But yeah, so we've got some stickers here, here, and here. The cockpit is really nicely done. And check the control panel they give you in this one. So the one you get is actually quite accurate. That is really nicely done. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your co-pilot. You don't get a place for his blaster, so apparently mine just pings out of his hand, which is always quite good. I suppose you could throw it on, if you just got this in flight mode, you could throw it on this clip. It's an idea. And, you know, that being yellow is quite accurate as well, which is good. So you can flip the wings up. For the most part, on your shelf, unless you create a custom stand, unfortunately, you're going to be stuck like that. I should also point out that these are stickers as well. But, yeah, this is, of course, you do get your stud shooters here and here. Unfortunately, this is what you see is what you get kind of set. There's like almost nothing else to it, and parts do like to ping off. It is a good set for what's worth. You know, I mean, you can have the V19 kind of in the hangar, and of course you can have Asajj Ventress and Obi-Wan dueling it out. But yeah, it's a good set. It's not on par with 2008. I refuse to say that. 2001, the 2008 one's bigger and has that cool function. All right, but I really do like it. For what it is, it's good. It's even better if you grab it on sale. I personally didn't. I'm an idiot and paid full price for mine. But yeah, it's a good set for what it is. Let's have a look at those instructions. Here we have the instructions, which is again the bland, boring Lego wanting to be cheap. So, you know, it's your typical build, nothing too special. And at the back, you know, you got the typical thing they're doing now where the minifigure runs across the page as you're building it. And you got an ad for all the other sets here. I've bought the Slave one, so, or Jango Fett Starship, whatever you want to call it. The battle pack I'm going to grab. The MTT I'll grab. I'm not grabbing the Ewok or the weird looking Snowspeeder thing. The turbo tank I will buy only because I want to do a comparison with it. The Droid stat looks pretty good. The K2SO I don't know yet, but that's kind of my views on that. So, do I recommend this set, right? Well, here's the thing. I actually like this, even though they're both downsized and have problems. I'm trying to get fix the camera there. I prefer this over the other clone trooper vehicle we got, or clone ship we got this year, which was the ARC 170. I don't know, I feel like this one, the downsizing wasn't as cruel to this one as it was to the ARC 170. I don't know, I guess the ARC 170 is alright, but yeah. I just think this one did it better, and I like this one's minifigures a bit more. This is one of my favourite sets of the year, and that Obi-Wan Kenobi minifigure is a big part of why. So, this is on Amazon for what? 60. Do I recommend that? If you can get it cheaper than 60, then 100% go for it. Obviously, the next review I've got is not even a Star Wars one that's coming up next Tuesday. But I also am looking to do the Slave 1 set, probably in September, who knows. But I really do like this set. Again, if I can get a hold of one, if they go cheap on Amazon, I'll buy a second one, because if you guys watch the channel, you'll know I'm a Clone Army builder. That's something that I will just end up doing. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this review of the brand new V19 Torrent, which feels weird to say, because for 17 years we just had the big one. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next review. Thanks for watching.